Okay, so let's talk. You're here for Superman. Let's talk Superman. This is big. This is exciting.
Huge.
This is something everyone loves. So how do you feel about that?
It's crazy. I wasn't really a fan of Superman when I was growing up. I was more of like a Batman, Wonder Woman kind of girl. But you know, I actually, after watching the movie, I'm like, yeah, maybe he's my favorite. I think they did a great job with it. James Gunn is the reason why I wanted to do this, and I auditioned like 4 times.
Yeah.
Because he did the Scooby-Doo live action films.
Respect.
He
Crush.
did Slither. He's done the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, he's done some awesome culturally significant things in his life. And I was like, yeah, I need to work with this guy with the white hair.
He's also like the keeper of the DC universe, right?
Yes.
Like he's in charge.
Yeah.
He's the dude
So
in charge.
everyone's nice to him. We're like, please give me a solo movie, please.
Yeah. Is that kind of that's got to be, it's like Miranda Cosgrove on Drake and Josh, right? Like she was angling for iCarly the whole.
Yeah, it's a long game. She's playing the long game.
What's it like though? Like you get the call that you booked Superman. I know that you mentioned like you weren't a fan necessarily growing up, but it's like it's Superman. Are you like dying that you booked that? Like yeah.
She had freaking wings. Like I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna work with James. I'm gonna be a Hawkgirl.
What's the audition like? Walk us through the whole.
I was actually filming Alien at the time when I auditioned for it, and I sent in a self-tape, and they had these weird kooky names for the characters that weren't actually the characters' names. And they said on the email, they were like, this isn't the actual dialogue that's in the film. It was. And I just did it. I set up my ring light. Acting is so embarrassing.
Yeah.
I set up my ring light and I stressed out about it. And I just did it. And then I think I sent it in, and then I did a Zoom call as a callback with James. And I think Peter Safran was there. I can't remember who exactly. I remember James was there. And he was very complimentary. He loved my voice and it was very raspy, and he liked that. And I guess, you know, Hawkgirl's kind of rough around the edges, so it made sense. And we just did the scene again. And then he called me when I got back to LA after filming. He called me in to do a camera test, where they did makeup, hair, and dressed me in the colors of the costume to sort of get the idea. And Nathan Fillion was there. He was already cast as Guy Gardner. And then Eddie Gathegi was also there, and he's playing Mr. Terrific, who's an underrated, but you'll see in the movie he's so necessary to it. And he's going to be, the toys are going to get sold out everywhere. But we did the scene together on a set, and it was so cool. They brought in, this is a camera test I've never done before. Usually, you know, you do it in a casting office, right?
Yeah, it's like just a bare office.
Right, it's super, super, I don't know, just corporate. But it felt like we were on set. It felt like we were actually filming that day. And it was a full day. We did stunt training. They had to see if I was capable of moving my body in a way that was believable, that I was a fighter. And then costume fittings. They took my measurements. They did a 3D scan. They did the scene, and that was proper. Like, they did proper coverage of every actor. And then afterwards, I don't even remember. I think I went to get snacks. I was so nervous. And
Same day?
Same day.
And are your hopes really, I mean, at this point, you've actually worn the clothes. Are your hopes just so high?
I've been in this too long to ever let my hopes get too high. Unless there's a paper that I've signed, I never assume that it's mine. Everybody,
so healthy.
People like offer you shit, and they'll be like, I want you to be in this. And then, you know, some old guy at some studio could be like, actually, I don't know her work. I want Jenna Ortega. So, you know, like, that could easily happen, and has happened. And so I never let my hopes get up. Probably not that healthy. I'm thinking about it.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's a terrible job.
I think it's healthy. Like, I don't know, never getting too high, never getting too low. It would be unhealthy to have, like, the ping pong is, I would think, worse, but I don't know.
Yeah, but in a way, it's like numbing yourself after your first girlfriend cheated on you, right?
Sure.
So then you're like, I have trust issues, and I won't like date anyone again, and like let them in. You know, it's kind of reactive as opposed to proactive.
Sure.
Same day, one of somebody, I think it was like a PA, I don't remember who came up to me, and it was Michael, actually. Michael might have asked me to come and was like, James would like to see you in his trailer. I'm like, okay, what the hell? And I just walk over there.
You got to know you're getting it at that point, right? Because he's not going to be like, he's not going to want to in person fire you.
Denial is not a river. It's in my blood.
Okay.
It's my blood. So I'm just completely trying to just detach at that moment. I get in there. There's like a bunch of people, the producers, the other studio head at DC, and they're all kind of sitting there and they're like, hi, hello. I sit down. I'm overthinking how I'm sitting. And they're just like, would you like to be our Hawkgirl? And I'm like, wait, sounds like a hot girl. Yes. And then at that moment, I actually didn't respond. In my head, I was like, what the hell do I say? And then I think the first thing that happened was like, I started tearing. I'm so dramatic, so theatrical. And I was like, oh, I can't wait to tell my mom. And yeah, it was great. It was great.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And then you walk onto that set. What's that look? I mean, superhero movies in general, and I know you said you were doing Last of Us sort of in the middle of it, but I mean, it's a huge undertaking, right? It's months and months. And what did it look like, the filming process?
Yeah, I mean, I started in January with prep and stuff, but we started filming in February, and we did 9 months of shooting. So we stayed, it was until October. And then in between that, I was shooting Superman for the span of like 3-4 months. And that was in Atlanta. So I would be in Vancouver filming Last of Us, sometimes taking up to 8 flights a month. At one point I did, because I was also promoting Madam Web, Turtles All the Way Down, and Alien.
Wow.
Solid.
I know. I once did a reoccurring on iCarly.
Yeah.
And I was like doing that.
And Drake and Josh.
And the pod. And I was like, somebody get me
A private jet.
I'm going to need to detox.
I need a private jet.
Yeah.
How do you jump back and forth between characters? Like, how do you like?
Oh, good question.
Like, are you like? Don't you have to be so zoned into one? Like, obviously that's the skill, right? But how do you prepare to be one character one day and then another the next?
You know, there's something so spiritual about being on a plane. It's almost as if you are literally leaving everything behind and you kind of walk off and you got a new view of life and you're in a whole different place. So it almost allowed me to sort of Hannah Montana that shit and like be like, oh, I'm a new girl in a new city. And now suddenly I can be Hawkgirl again because I left Dina in Vancouver.
Right.
And in a way, I mean, planes are one of my favorite places ever because it's like I lock in. Something about the altitude allows me to just focus on my script and be a little bit more emotionally aware because maybe it's so quiet. Or I mean, for some people it's very loud, but for me, like I love being lulled by transportation.
Yeah.
I love a subway for that reason. Like I love that it kind of rocks a little bit and that it's kind of loud.